case file number Alpha 904 Charlie. It was located in a sub-basement archive. The building is in Zurich, Switzerland. The date is January 27, 2018. This investigation answers one specific question. Who stole the life savings? The document is heavy and worn. It smells of old coffee and dust. We are exposing the dark secret here. The hidden truth is finally revealed today. We are uncovering the shocking scandal together. This is not a simple mistake. It is a calculated, cold plan. The room is cold and sterile. The lights hum a low note. We open the file now. The first page is blank. The second page holds the key. We must understand the beginning. To understand the crime, we look back. The timeline is long and twisted. 5,221 days. That is 14 years of silence. The file sits on the desk. It waits for us to read it. We will read every single word. The truth lies in the details. The details are written in ink. The file number Alpha 904 Charlie matches case docket 2018 to 104. The archive label reads Sub-Basement Vault 3, Section B. Zurich police retrieved the box on January 27, 2018 at 9:13. Detective Marco Ruiz logged entry number 71803 in his notebook. The box weighed 37 kilograms, causing the metal cart to creak. Humidity measured 22%, preserving the paper's faint watermark. A faint coffee scent lingered, traced to a 1997 espresso machine. The forensic team photographed each corner, using 24-megapixel lenses. Investigator Sophia Klein noted a faint tear on page 12. She marked the tear with a blue highlighter for later comparison. The timestamp on the first page reads 2/17, February 14, 2004. The second page bore a carbon copy watermark dated 200500601. These dates align with Apex Holdings Incorporation filing on June 1, 2005. The case file cites reference 12BC07 in the National Ledger. Cross-checking revealed a parallel entry in the Swiss Commercial Register. The ledger entry listed capital of 2,500,000 Swiss francs exactly. Bank statements attached show a deposit of 2,500,000 Swiss francs on July 3, 2005. Auditor Elena Varga signed the statement on July 10, 2005. The signature matches other documents from the same period without alteration. The handwriting analysis report, dated March 15, 2019, confirms authenticity. A side note in the margin reads check totals twice. The marginal note was penned in red ink, dated August 22, 2006. Investigator Luis Ortega stared at the note, eyebrows raised in surprise. He whispered, someone warned themselves about a mistake. The file also contains a printed map of Zurich's financial district. The map highlights a block labeled Zurich West near the Bahnhof. A tiny red dot marks the exact building of Apex Holdings. GIS coordinates logged as 47.3769 degrees north, 8.5417 degrees east. Satellite imagery from 2007 shows the building's roof with a solitary antenna. The antenna was later identified as a concealed Wi-Fi relay. Technical analysis dated November 2, 2010 confirms signal interception capability. A hidden camera footage from March 3, 2012 captures a late-night exchange. The footage shows a briefcase handoff between two unknown individuals. The briefcase bore a stitched logo identical to Apex's corporate emblem. Forensic audio extraction reveals a whispered phrase, "Transfer complete tonight." The audio timestamp reads 23:47, March 3, 2012. Detective Hart recorded a shiver, claiming the voice sounded familiar. Further investigation linked the voice to former employee Marco Ruiz. Interview notes dated April 5, 2012 note his nervous laughter. He claimed ignorance, but his alibi collapsed under cross-examination. The file includes a ledger page displaying entry 4523. Entry 4523 records a payment of 12,345 Swiss francs and 67 Rappen to an offshore account. The offshore account number 00184299 was registered in Belize. Bank logs show the transfer occurred on June 14, 2014. If this pattern concerns you, subscribe. Documented exposures every week. Regulatory report filed on June 20, 2014 flagged the transaction. The regulator's remark read unusual pattern, recommend further review. A follow-up memo dated July 2, 2014 notes no action taken. Investigator Klein flagged the memo as a procedural oversight. She wrote, "Missed opportunity for early interception" in her field diary. The file contains a printed email dated September 9, 2015. The email subject reads quarterly payout adjustment. The body lists a correction of plus 0.01 to the return rate. Mathematical analysis shows that 0.01 equals 2,500 Swiss francs on an average portfolio. The adjustment raised total payouts by exactly 2,500 Swiss francs. Senior accountant Jonas Meyer approved the adjustment without comment. His signature appears digitally stamped, timestamped 1402, September 9, 2015. The digital certificate traces back to server ID 10.0.0.0. for 5. Server logs reveal a remote login from an IP address in Singapore. Login occurred at 13:58, September 9, 2015, minutes before the email send. Cyber analyst traced the IP to a known hacking group, Phantom Ghost. Group activity logs show similar attacks on financial firms from 2013 to 2017. A pattern emerges linking Phantom Ghost to multiple offshore fund siphons. The case file includes a photograph of a security badge labeled Level 3. Badge serial number 00977722 corresponds to a clearance granted on March 1, 2011. Clearance granted to a contractor named L. Hart in the internal directory. Detective Hart later realized the badge matched his own forgotten ID. He recalled a night in 2013 when he lost his badge. The loss was reported, but the report disappeared from the log. A missing log entry dated November 12, 2013 raises suspicion. The file concludes with a handwritten note, "Truth waits in shadows." The entity was named Apex Holdings. It occupied a small glass office. The office was in a busy district. People walked by every single day. They wore suits and carried briefcases. They looked like normal business people. They drank coffee and shook hands. They talked about quarterly projections and growth. The receptionist greeted everyone with a smile. The plants were watered every Tuesday. The floors were cleaned every night. Nothing appeared out of the ordinary here. The routine was boring and predictable. Invoices were sent on the 1st. Payments were received on the 15th. The lights turned off at 6. The system worked like a clock. It was a perfect, quiet machine. Investors received their statements on time. The numbers showed steady, safe growth. 5% was the standard return. It was never too high. It was never too low. It was just right, they said. The employees were friendly and polite. They had families and mortgages to pay. They believed in the company mission. They thought they were building value. The CEO was a quiet man. He drove a sedan, not a sports car. He ate lunch in the cafeteria. He was boring and deeply ordinary. He did not seek the spotlight. He preferred the shadows of the office. The board meetings were short and dull. Everyone nodded and approved the budget. The auditors signed off on the books. The regulator filed the paperwork away. The world kept turning around them. No one looked too closely at the math. The math was hidden deep inside. The files were stacked in boxes. The boxes were locked in cabinets. The cabinets were in a back room. The room had no windows. It was just a storage space. But the air pressure felt wrong. The silence in that room was heavy. A single digit was off. It was a small, minor error. A decimal point was moved left. 1 cent became $1. It happened on a Tuesday morning. The clerk noticed the discrepancy first. This channel investigates documented corporate misconduct. Subscribe to follow the record. He assumed it was a software glitch. He restarted the computer terminal. The screen flickered and then died. He rebooted the system again. The number remained unchanged on the screen. He shrugged and went to lunch. He did not write a report. He did not tell his supervisor. He just let it slide by. It was only $1 after all. But the dollar was not alone. Another invoice appeared 2 days later. It was for a fake service. The service was never actually performed. The vendor did not even exist. The address was an empty lot. The phone number was disconnected. Yet the payment was approved immediately. The signature was a digital stamp. The stamp was applied automatically. No human eye saw the transaction. The system just let it pass through. Another flag appeared a week later. A transfer went to an offshore account. The account name was a shell company. The decimal error first appeared on February 12, 2018, invoice 7854. The amount listed was 1 Swiss franc instead of 10 Rappen. Software audit log recorded the entry at 8:45, workstation E12. System admin Carla Mendez flagged the entry as minor mismatch. She corrected it manually, but the change reverted after reboot. Investigator Ortega observed the revert, noting a possible backdoor. Network trace on February 13, 2018 captured an unauthorized packet. The packet originated from IP 172.16.45.22, labeled internal. Malware analysis dated February 14, 2018 identified a Trojan named Viper. Viper's purpose: modify numeric fields within financial databases. Forensic report shows Viper injected code at line 342 of the parser. The code altered decimal placement by shifting the radix point left. A single cent became a full dollar, inflating revenue. The clerk, Jonas Feld, reported feeling uneasy during the incident. He described a cold sweat, heart racing, hands trembling. Detective Hart recorded his testimony on March 1, 2018. He noted Feld's statement, "Something was wrong, but I couldn't prove it." 2 days later, a fabricated invoice surfaced on March 3, 2018. Invoice number 9001 listed a service titled Consultancy Data Migration. The service cost 7,500 Swiss francs, payable immediately. Vendor address claimed to be Lot 27, Riverside, Zurich. Land registry records show Lot 27 is an empty field. Phone number listed 0445550199, disconnected since January 2018. The payment was authorized by Senior Manager Petra Liu. Liu's digital signature matched her usual pattern, according to signature analysis. However, the timestamp shows approval at 2:13, March 3, 2018. Liu was documented as asleep at home until 7 o'clock that morning. More documented findings like this are coming. Subscribe to the Evidence Room.